Small boys.
May I ask that at any time that Dr. Komolafe is willing to let us start, should start.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Good evening, the erudite scholar. Professor.
Hello.
Can you hear me, sir? Good evening, everyone joining us later. Good day, good morning, depending on where you're
Number
hearing us from.
is increasing in a little way.
Okay. How about now? Can you hear me well now?
Dr. Mbayo, welcome, sir.
So far, so good. We've had very critical
Thank you, sir.
few days of engagement on a pivotal note, and we hope to hang it somewhere today as we bring everything to a rounded balance today. So far, so good. We've expedited action on our topics from the first day till now about behavioral health fundamentals, for which individual differences was the first thing we highlighted. That as our faces differ, so also our characters, demeanor, culture, nurture, nature also differ, for which there's no one size fits it all in psychosocial intervention, management, and treatment. We also saw the place of community health, societal health. Doctor emphasized the fact that there is no societal health without individual health, and the health of a family bespeaks the health of a society. The society is as strong as every individual that populates and popularizes it. And so yesterday we also saw community health. What are the imperatives of community health in terms of culture, vaccination, and all kinds of things that are needed to be understood to package a society and a community for global relevance, so that a community can enjoy the best of health, given all its dynamics over time. An effort was made to ask our erudite professors in the house about a particular salient community, which is the school community, because we must raise the leadership generation of the future. And the future we are talking about particularly begins from now. A minute after now is future. Everything ahead of us, not necessarily 10, 20, 50 years. Future is just the next time before us. And we came to a rounded discussion that there is the need to host a national stakeholders forum where we will engage parents, teachers, and see how we can create a massive action to invading homes, changing cultures, so as to overhaul the overall dynamics of health. Dr. Mba also lent his voice, and streak of competency on the critical role culture is playing. The good, of course, the bad, and the ugly, for which, due to some uncanny cultural practices in certain climes, certain communities, is making health to debilitate and deteriorate. people in the name of culture do some certain laceration, all kinds of stuff, without considering the medical implication on people. And when they just say, oh, it's our culture, we must keep to culture. So we believe diplomacy, training and equipping, sensitizing, and the rest will do that. So after today, we'll create a kitchen cabinet by which we'll begin to deliberate the way forward. And in my own opinion, if Dr. Mustafa Sambe will agree to it, we are going to start from a benchmark, a pilot from a school, possibly in Lagos, with our erudite professor, who liaise with her and make a pilot to run in Lagos, where we'll deploy competencies, invite parents, guardians, teachers, and then hold the first conference there, equip parents, deploy resources, and watch the impact assessment. And from there, we can go to places, we can regionalize it, we can go to the north, go to the south, and then a national stakeholders forum, possibly with collaboration with Ministry of Education, either at state level or federal level, will suit. And Mr. Tryon was also here to give us a testimony rundown of the neck-up, check-up mantra and how that is selling so fast in Lagos. We said on very many occasions, this facility, they work if we are ready to work it. And Madam Caroline Ajasa also lent her voice. In fact, she personally wrote to me of a passionate appeal to belong. And I think she will run with us by the grace of God, because it takes passion to fix people. When you are passionate, then fixing people will not be a problematic thing. So, Dr. Sambe, you're asking for my curriculum vitae, corporate profile. Here is it. I surrender to you, sir. Take over.
I think it has been on display, and
okay.
You have your day. It is your day, and we hope that you will not allow us to miss anything, because we have taken about 15 minutes into the time for flashback and intro. Distinguished lady, I think we have just a lady in the house. Lady and gentlemen, today, more often than not, I posit myself as not too keen interested in crowd, but result-oriented, high-quality individuals that come in a small number to make things happen. By this, we are privileged to have Dr. James Komolafe, a PhD holder in behavioral health, Registrar CEO, IOBAN, Institute of Behavioral Health in Nigeria, and a super certificated individual having bagged MBA, CBT from Florida. And by extension, should you be interested in the details of what Dr. Komolafe is doing with Saba Resources, please, you may log in onto www.sabaresources.com so that I will not be charged for eating further into it. Dr. Komolafe, if you care to know, ladies and gentlemen, is a protagonist of no-grow show approach to health and behavior, or healthy behaviors. And Before you know anything about Dr. Komolafe, you should have heard about checks, neck up, neck down, and sure-footed forward. And having had him neck up ready, we can be sure that we are going to have a neck down suitability and we move forward.
Professor.
You are welcome, Dr. Komolafe. Shall we give him a round of applause, ladies and
Thank you
gentlemen?
so very much, sir.
Thank you.
So over
I
to you.
yield the floor to you, sir.
Okay, sir. To some of us who are here for the first time, this is the profile of the Ebora of psychology, popularly known, our professor, Dr. Mustapha Tony Sambe. You can see he's replete with all kinds of accolades, to traditional title, relevance in the media, corporate sector. He's been retiree on several occasions, but never tired. And we are forming a very critical clique and collaboration where we will take the game of health forward in Africa. With Nigeria being our benchmark, we're going to take the game forward to ensure that we have legitimacy, we have our pride of place in organizations, and people will be happy for once being a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a medical doctor. That one, they've already crossed the Rubicon. Then people who are in the psychosocial paramedics and all of that can have their way and do the needful. So without much ado, I'm going to show us how we can implement the no grocery strategy. I would have loved to hear Dr. Sambe's style first, as usual, and then I will just apply. So, Doctor, you have a word or two, and then we hear Dr. Umba as well, and any other person. Then I will now cap it up with a framework that I feel is just good for every one of us as a leverage. So, Dr. Sambe, okay,
Yes, sir. Let me yield to Dr. Mba to open the floor. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so Dr. Mba, over to you. At least you have related with me now for about a fortnight. You've had me over and over on the no grocery strategy and all that.
Yes, I would have loved to make comment on this from now, but my location is not such that I'll be able to do it now, sir.
Okay.
Can I do it later?
Thank you very much, sir. Yes. So let's hit the ground running.
So in order, Dr. Komolafe, let me just welcome Mrs. Caroline Ajasa.
Okay.
Olamiposi Yusuf. And I want us to have you full blown so that we won't be shopping for time and be short of time. Okay. So please, I yield the floor to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so very much. So while we'll expect others to join us and others who will pick this by way of replay, the no grocery strategy is the summary cap of all that we do as professionals. It is an idea that sells to the enterprising public, our clients, and everyone that, hey, there's order, there is decorum. We are not quacks by the roadside. We know what we are doing, and we are doing what we know to fix any situation that comes our way as professionals. And the no grocery strategy is a strategy that works and wins. It's a strategy that works. It also wins. Why do we set it up as a template? Gone are the days when clients will come with their so serious situation to baffle us, dazzle us. Hey, doctor, this boy has been into 6 rehab. He did this, he did that, and then if care is not taken and you are not a professional, you will just be carried away by what people say. You'll be intimidated by the response and reaction of clients. So the no-grow strategy has capacity to settle your mind. It shows you where to begin from. It serves a common denominator to critical issues of various variety. To you as a practitioner, the no-grow strategy gives you confidence that no matter what, you are finding your place and taking charge of your space to deliver efficient and effective service. That's the no-grow strategy. The no-grow strategy tells you what to do, what tools to use, and then when, how. The no-grow strategy, like I had a session with a lady who is an African coordinator of a project later to before now. She told me of a PDP mantra. Say, wow, so PDP is not about behavioral health alone. And she told me PDP in their own parlance means pre-training, during training, and then post-training episode. I said, wow, PDP. I told her PDP to us means personal developmental plans, for which you need APC. And what is our own APC? Appreciation of the situation, penetration, giving the tools and the information that you have in order to do what? Contribution to the client. So you need PDP plus APC in order to achieve LP. What is our LP? Lifestyle and productivity. So life is actually about APC, PDP, and LP without adducing to politics. So the no-grow strategy reinforces the fact that you are a professional who should bring in all that we need for practical demonstration of professionalism. Just like you will take your car to an auto mechanic. Whatever your complaint is, the auto mechanic will not start loosening all the nuts on the body of the car and piecing everything down. No. It goes spot on by connecting his whatever to your car on the battery, and then everything wrong with your car comes up on his computer. And then he tells you, he knows what to touch, why possibly he's touching it, in order to sort out the issue with your car. So we are as professionals. So our 5W and 2H is critical in the no-grow strategy. What is it that I'm dealing with? at this situation? Why am I going to deal with this? Who is involved? Where? And then when? 5W. And then 2H. How do I intervene? And then the harvest, which is the expectation. What do I want to see after this? What are we gunning for? Is critical in the no-grow strategy. So when you know it, grow it, and then you will be able to showcase it. In no-grow strategy, say, know the situation. Grow your competence and showcase contribution. So no case comes to you as a practitioner that you will just send your clients away like that. You want to say, doctor, how about cases I cannot handle? Yes, that's why we'll network. You have referrals. As much as I am here, big hospitals refer cases to me here. I also refer cases to small and big places. Every man has his own onion. Every man has his own area of specialization. There are doctors and there are also consultant doctors who, when the chips are down, and you see, good doctors will not, Dr. Mba will tell you, good and great doctors will not need to even wait until the chips are down before they confer, interact, interface in order to intervene. Why? Life has no duplicate. And then the no-grow strategy says, please don't guess. I think, no spare. Life has no spare. Well, I don't know how true it is that a doctor forgot scissors inside a woman's tummy. Dr. Mba, can it ever happen that after 1 year they had to perform a surgical operation to remove scissors forgotten? Dr. Mba,
it happens, unfortunately. It does.
Yes.
So it
does.
Be
it happens.
So the no-grow strategy says some of those issues should be looked at in total. What are the tools you need and why do you need them? The no-grow strategy says, please take your time. It's better to under-promise and over-deliver than to over-promise and under-deliver. Oh, this thing by 2, we will be okay. And perchance, you finish by 12 for 1, better than, oh, this thing will just take us 30 minutes. And after 2 hours, you're asking for more time. It's not professional. So the no-grow strategy says, know what you are doing, grow your competence, and then showcase result before you even get there. Be able to carry your client along over what they should expect after interacting with you. Pull them along. And in so doing, let their emotional reality be so positive, because it is therapeutic to ensure that the emotion of your client is up. And I think it is in all professions. In the paramedics, in the medical, and the psychosocial, psychological, physiological, whatever. If the emotion of your client is down, there's little to what you can achieve. Because CBT tells us that the internal reality of a man is interwoven, beginning from his thoughts to the elements of his feelings that grooms his passion and serves his motivation for requisite action. And when that is repeated over time, it becomes a rule of behavior. So the no-grow strategy says, hey, be aware, be informed, don't be distracted, be orderly. And one of the sequence of order is the capacity to outline. The medical, they do it a huge lot. There is a case file, a reference file, that even when a doctor is going, another doctor who comes in will just pick the file, understudy it, and know what next to do. I tell people I train in psychotherapy, when your client is talking to you and you are just nodding head and say, not true, then you are a quack. You should be able to follow through internally and externally and note down issues, because in therapy, every situation analysis also carries at the backside of it the solution aptitude. Every situation analysis also carries at the backside of it the aptitude for its own solution, because there are two sides of a coin, the head and of course the tail. So when a client comes to you, courtesy of the no-grow strategy, it shows you the tail. It tells you more of the tail. The more you have a better appreciation of the tail you are being informed, the better your capacity to create a turnaround shift for the positive. And at the end of the day, your client gets results. So that's what we are talking about. So to further drive this point home, let me show you a diagram that captures the element of the no-grow strategy. It works like a laboratory framework where you look at this first circle. We need to know the persona that is involved in the case we're handling. Is he an individual, like Dr. Sambe was telling us yesterday? Is he a community? What type of community? What is their culture? What are the issues akin to them? And Dr. Mba also raised it yesterday. So we need to know the psychosocial environment we are handling, the society itself. Is it a family? What is the biodata, biohistory? What is akin to them by DNA, by culture, by lifestyle, and all of that? Where nature, nurture, culture, candidature, pasture, scripture, rapture, and the various other elements I mentioned are holding sway. We need to know that persona, that institution, and have all the facts, the good, the bad, and the ugly order. We need all of this. And then in therapy, we are able to find out how well has this individual institution been able to find their place in the center of it in order to capture their space roundabout. And what we do in therapy, in the no-growth strategy, is to serve our evaluation method. Whichever way you want to engage the conventional mapping system by which you put 2 and 2 together to say if this is happening, that must be happening. You want to use some psychoanalysis through psychoeducation. You want to look at the psychosomatic effect of cases and issues. You want to use some other empirical means, like psychometric analysis. Whichever you want to use, we need to be able to find out how well and balanced is the client. Where is he lopsided? What are the behavioral deficit variables that is positioning him where he is now? Where does he need the drug if it is medical? Where is lifestyle protocol coming in? So that you position your client. And then in the no-growth strategy, you don't only know the situation on ground by the first circle and blocking gaps, loophole, and vacuum. You also go ahead to say, this guy, how can I further help him to turbocharge him against relapses? What are the elements of his strength? Is he aware? If he is not aware, what can I do? This is where the 3D quotient comes in. Discovery, development, and of course, deployment. Serve the 3D model to be able to find out who is this person or organization from the inside, so as to avert undue triggers, disincentive that are worded and weighted around the client. And that with this, we can track the good, the bad, and the ugly in therapy. Therapy is not necessarily just for the aberrant. How do I mean? Oh, if it is not bad, I don't need therapy. No. You may want to reinforce a particular situation on ground. So you go for therapy to be able to test the assertion of what you have on ground and to see your next level reality. It's still therapy. So therapy handles the good, the bad, and the ugly. Therapy handles the adaptive and the maladaptive behavior. Therapy improves cognitive functioning and balance, where you have better clarity, sound understanding of oneself and the organization to which one belongs. So you grow the potential. Therapy is not just about handling people's problems. It's also about growing people's potential. And that's where the no-growth strategy comes so handy. Pivotal lights are shown on the area of strength, either from within or without, to be built on your client at any rate, depending on who you are and for what you do. So what strength do you need to generate? What skill will you need to apply? What are the competencies? What are the learning curves How enthusiastic and passionate is this individual? You fix that in your growth appeal. So, no grocery strategy says don't just identify with the problem. Also, identify solutions, potentials, graces, giftings, talents, things that are woven in the life of your client that can make him happy, make her happy, keep her running. That's the no-grocery strategy. The no-grocery strategy is a double-edged sword, both for the practitioner and his client. It serves you right and services your client at the same time. You are in the same vehicle, traveling the same route, to arriving at the same destination. That is the fun of the no-grocery strategy, where you have become like a savior to your client. The no-grocery strategy delivers you from working like a herbalist. You know, herbalist. People go to them when they have a particular problem. And once that problem is over, they soon forget Baba until the next problem. But the no-grocery strategy, you know what? We keep you on top. Madam Yetunde, you have to mute yourself. It's boomerang. Yetunde Oni, welcome to the show. You're having some noise from your set. So mute it for us. So the no-grocery strategy keeps both you and your client on top. In fact, you know what I do in my own case? When I finish a therapy session with my client, whether on the good definition, on the bad violation, or on the ugly deviation, I tell him or her the next thing we are doing. So I keep them excited. I show them what next we are going to achieve, so as to raise their emotional content to be able to relate to that. And with that, I get results. So don't keep your client in the dark as to what you are doing. And say, Madam, just cooperate. Just cooperate, Madam. Just believe what I'm doing is right. No. Treasure human beings. Carry them along. Showcase gravity, integrity in your area of authority. That is the no-grocery strategy for you. So please help them grow their potentials. Potential to be stronger. Potential to develop capacity. Potential to carry on from where they met you. And then showcase production. What can they produce from here? Through growth, great health, great strength, great wealth will come out. An idle man's hand is the devil's workshop. Ensure that there's no idleness. Do you know sedentary lifestyle can cause sickness, diseases, and even cardiovascular diseases can come up because of sedentary lifestyle. And that's why Nigerian civil service culture and retirement dictum has a case to answer. They just retire 2-3 years afterwards. The man that was not having headache before will start having all kinds of health problems because of sedentary lifestyle, for which retirement package does not take care of. So the no-grocery strategy says, hey, check this man inside out. What are the elements of his strength, his health, that produces the wealth? Keep him in a frame that will make him eventually discover his depth. And that is what we have here as number 4, where I'm rounding up now. So whatever you do, we can always borrow you this framework to keep your work very sound and neat. You know that you need your number 1 to get your number 2, your number 1 and 2 to get your number 3, and your number 3 to help your client to arrive at 4. It is at 4 your client comes out so radiant in these 5 powers. It becomes an attraction. It can penetrate any realm of his passionate appeal. It can make contribution and do value creation elsewhere. It hits the ground running in innovative ideas and thinking. So no crucial strategy in summary says, please go the extra mile. When your client asks you for 2, give them 7. Where your client's expectation says 5, make it 15 for them. So that they will say, doctor, you know, since that day I met you, my life has not been the same. In fact, what I didn't know about myself has come to the fore. Doctor, you are God sent to me. That is service, conscientious service, out of passionate appeal. You are happy doing what you are doing, and people are also enjoying you. So those are the facts about it. So this template is available for all career professionals. It's available for everything that you do, because you'll be able to do comprehensive intervention. And before people go neck deep into whatever they want to do, either the good, the bad, or the ugly, you can always check things how neck up before they go neck deep. That's the summary. Yes, we check up neck up, but before people go neck deep, you have a facility by which you check things for them, and then they can be prompt, right? And then they can see cleanness in all that you do and say, wow, your own case is different. To the glory of God, I happen to take a facilitation as a faculty on a mental health hub. And then all they were taught about mental health were just talk. But when I came in and I tested people and treated them, they said, wow, you are making us to like mental health. You change the whole perspective for us. I said, mental health is not just talk. We need to invade into you, show what is inside you, and then turn things around for you by behavioral invasion model that explore, expresses in order to establish. So, ladies and gentlemen, I submit to you that this framework is available for grabs. Once we know your passionate appeal, then we can build yours for you. You are the one who will determine what your health variable is, what your strength variable is, your wealth variable, and of course, the depth variable. So that when you begin to do critical engagement, you start taking your clients based on the merit of your enterprise. So, what a joy to let you know that it's a scalable laboratory that will give you facility for infrastructure, continuous service delivery. The no grosso strategy as a laboratory framework keeps you friendly with your client, and there's always one service or the other to perform, where you as a professional, you are always relevant. So to that point, I'm going to open up the floor for us to ask our questions and all that, but I like to recommend this book for every one of us, which is downloadable. Intervention through behavioral checkup. We all need it so that we can engage pivotally our clients. Life is 70% behavioral, psychosocial, and 30% physical, operational. So very critical. The people you can engage psychosocially will have less of the psychosomatic problems that redefines their setup and their lifestyle and gives them a courage and a fortitude to know that they can bounce back. So when you are developing the curriculum and as we engage with you, it's going to show us your 5W and 2H. You're able to define what is this case, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Why? What are the causative factors? What are the predisposing factors? Where the history, the biohistory will come up. When? Around what circumstances? And all of that. That's the root cause analysis. Who is involved? All of those clauses. And then how do I go about it? And what are we attracting in so doing? So you need this book to read, to be able to check up from the neck up in order to be good and great leg forward, both you and your client, courtesy of the No Grow Show strategy. So thank you so very much, Doctor. The floor is open. I made it. Thank you very much. So questions?
Thank you very much, Dr. Komolafe. We are indeed very grateful for your leadership, openness, and capacity to empower without creating any barrier or making grandiose posturing. To this extent, members on the platform, we should feel free to ask as many questions as may agitate our minds so that all of us can have the benefit of having Dr. Komolafe at our available moment this time around. Thank you very much. I don't want to be calling out names. I want people to easily volunteer to talk. Thank you.
We have a newcomer in the house, Oni Yetunde, who is somehow we can't.
Yusuf Olamipositu is new to me. I don't know. Yes, shall we have Dr. Mba? Thank you, sir.
He's raising his hand.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Komolafe. Thank you, Prof. I must say that this is a great eye-opener to us in the medical profession. It was what I was looking for, and I had to jump into it, and I'm still in it, and will continue to be in it. Yeah, but I want just to say something about the
network problem there. Okay.
Don't worry, Dr. Komolafe. I can hear him. Okay, I may check him out also. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Dr. Mba. Please continue. That orthodox doctors hold on to patients indefinitely. You are very correct.
Very correct. Okay, sir. Dr. Sambe would like to respond to his question. It's also flashing down here.
So, go on, Dr. Mba, sir. Go on, Dr. Mba. Go on.
I think he made his point that what can we do to the
No, sir.
Orthodox?
Dr. Komolafe, please give him a space, please.
Okay.
Thank you,
So
sir.
over to you, Dr. Mba. Mm.
We can't hear him.
We are reading. Just read what is showing. Maybe it's a network from his end, or it's showing on the.
I think people should, I can hear you, and I think people should just allow you to be done. Then I will make a case.
Yeah.
Please, let us give a breathing space to an authorized speaker. Thank you. Mute your mic, please. On Dr. Mba. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Wow. Great point out there.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Mba. Your observation is perfect and correct. And to the larger members on the platform, what Dr. Mba had presented is like members of the medical team, especially the doctors, the medical doctors, hold on to patients. And if you care to know, even they claim in the hospital setting that the patients are their patients. So they make them look personal to them. And I can share Dr. Mba's experience with what I had. There was a patient in an eyebrow facility on Victoria Island in Lagos. And the person who is a relation to that patient got in touch with me that I should come and do psychological assessment. And I deliberately mentioned that the relative should tell the medical director that a clinical psychologist will be visiting that patient. Come and see, hell was let loose. The relative told me this, and I just told them, move the patient out of that facility. Unknown to me that they have the capacity to move the patient even outside of the shores of Nigeria. And to my surprise, the feedback I got was the reception team for the patient was led by a clinical psychologist in USA. Meanwhile, Dr. Mba, I hope you are with me, sir.
Yes, I am with you, sir. I am with you, sir. I muted my speaker so that I don't interfere.
Yeah, thank you. A clinical psychologist led the reception team. And guess what? In recent presentation by a psychiatrist who just retired from UK, he said to us that the nurse is the coordinator of the team and that the future or the holding capacity of any member of the team depends on the whims and fancies of the nurse. Unlike here, where the medical doctor will come late to work and expect everybody, when he even comes late, he will not have regards to apologize. He will expect that everybody should just be saying, welcome, doctor, welcome, doctor.
And praising.
This, I think there is need for reorientation and understanding that the focus is about the patient, not professional rivalry, not even holding on to the patient indefinitely, raking money from patients without giving value.
Wow.
And maybe I should let us appreciate the fact that all these are pinned to parents, families, background of how these individual doctors came to be. Not majority, not 50% of them are interested in the job as much as they are interested in the money accruing.
Money.
I want to yield space for others to contribute. Thank you, Dr. Mba. I think maybe it should be a subject of discussion at maybe MBA forum, or NMA forum and whatever. And I can tell you for free that Professor Shinowo, is an advanced person who strongly believe in psychological components.
Wow.
And I'm sure you won't forget that 80% in the medical schools, they were trained that 80% of what is presented in clinical setting are essentially psychological. I stand to be corrected. Thank you.
Wow. This is incredible. Thank you so very much for this contribution, Dr. Mba and Dr. Sambe. You are really exposing great things that are happening. And I'm sorry to say, in very many circles in Nigeria, doctors are almost worshipped. Well, for the fact that Nigerian government and all that don't place value that much on them. So the few that are around in the private hospitals, you enter their trap, only God will save you. Only God will save you. And you see, it's a monopoly market. Once they give you your bill, the next thing is not even the bill. You start calling favor, oh, doctor, this and that. Well, we are not denigrating the fact of the high valuation and to become a doctor, what it takes, but other professionals, like the psychologists, the psychiatrists, the caregiver, and all that, they are equally important. Now, if the doctor will do all his pretty nice job and there is no nurse or pharmacist, how does it look? Also, I was privileged to attend a function last night, a dinner after the breaking of fast of some group, and I was happy to talk to some doctors there. In fact, while I made move of my observation that in this your advert, I can see the office of his physiotherapist, of whatever stuff. I said, where is the psychotherapist? He said, we don't have. And I said, I'm a trained psychotherapist and I'm coming to your hospital. I said, yes, come and fit it. The CMD said, sir, I'm your first client. I need therapy. I was so happy. When a medical doctor told me he needs therapy, meaning he knows the fact that even in the medical profession, you need to get people good neck up so that your treatment can go down well and they can go great. Otherwise, we just keep them in the beds and we tag them our patients, our clients. I think the best of it, as service to God and humanity, is when your client, the so-called patient, gets very good service from you, enjoys back his health, and you give him a pivotal direction in his next dimension. So I think maybe in the next class, in the next equipping, we'll look deep into this no-grow-show strategy and take specific careers. Oh, my own is a business model. We bring it here. Let's say the business no-grow-show strategy. My own is the medical profession. We bring it out so that all these excesses, we can curb it. And then as a psychologist, where are you being underpriced and underrated? And I'm sure Dr. Sambe will do a huge lot in this area, in this country. When you tell him to come and speak on the underpricing of psychologists, then you will hear we and all of that.
Shall we have Oniyetunde to say whatever is our take home from this platform? Thank you. Please unmute your microphone and let's hear you. Oniyetunde.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Your Excellency, ma. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for this opportunity to give to me. Actually, I joined earlier, but what I meant brand is the strategy. So my question now, sir, is that how can we communicate the negotiable strategy in education sector?
Can you repeat your question again?
Otherwise, type your question on the chat box so that it will be clearer. Thank you. Mrs. Ajasa, shall we have you? Mrs. Ajasa.
Allow me pause. I hope you have
yes. Good evening, everyone, especially the doctors. I want to say that my take home now about this no-go show strategy is that this no-go show strategy is just like a therapy, allowing us to identify our weaknesses, then apply solutions. So it even allows me to know more about my clients in their daily living, helping them grow their potentials and making ensure that there is no weakness. So, and that I should not keep my clients in the dark. I should allow my client to know what is going on, giving them feedback concerning what they came for. Thank you.
What a wonderful contribution. Not just your client, even you are in check. And then your conscience will speak to you, madam, this is the next thing. Go to the next thing. You are happy, your client is happy, and everybody is happy for it. Yes, Dr. Sante.
Thank you, sir.
Is Oniyetunde saying something now? Because the microphone is on.
Let's see whether she's written something.
Okay.
Yes, she has asked a question. Let me read it out.
Yeah.
How can I inculcate the no-go-show strategy in education setting? Wow. Interesting. Over to you, sir.
Well, thank you very much, sir, Dr. Komolafe.
Since you are in education
setting. If you are in education setting, you know that you are supposed to be guided with what the students are supposed to learn, call it subject matter content, what they're supposed to acquire during that session, okay, which is to make them grow. From the word education, it's educare, bringing forth what is latent in an individual, and evaluation, the examination or test at the end of the session or at the end of the term or during the course of the course will show whether the students have learned anything, whether they have moved by growth of knowledge from a certain point to the point that they are desired to be.
Wow.
Does that make sense to you, Yetunde?
So it's an extra mileage. Not just teaching and going.
And not just teaching and going. It's about bringing out the latent tendencies about the subject matter so that by the test, examination, homework, assignment, they'll be able to show having grown from what they know.
Wow.
I hope you can see from, you can take it back and forth. Know, grow, show, and when they show, we will know how far they have grown so that we know how much they have known. Thank you. Don't let us belabor that.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Any other contribution? I think, Dr. Sambe, with what you have just opened our eyes to see now, we will also need to do a session, I don't know, maybe next month, where our emphasis will be the teaching profession, no grosso strategy on the teaching profession, on the medical profession, on the psychological profession, so that one day per time we just see the extra mileage that is necessary so that practitioners can tighten their belt to say, hey, am I there in this career to make money, contribute money, and not to just accumulate the money?
Yeah.
I heard of a doctor who insisted that a woman must do cesarean operation.
Oh.
He just felt this woman no need to be labor anything, just 6 years. Why? The doctor needed money. And he knows that ordinary delivery, just deliver and go, will not reach it. Say, madam, no need to worry yourself. This is a CS case. I'm not saying there are no CS cases, but you check all the variables, the dilation, and the rest of it. Then Dr. Mba will tell us more about it. But to just say straight up, you have to do operation, and this is the amount for it, just because you wanted to meet a particular selfish need, and you know that nobody can challenge you. No grosso strategy frowns at that. It says be professional, be human as well. Be firm, but kind. Be firm, but professional. Don't just do anything anyhow and go away with it. So Mrs. Yetunde Oni, in the teaching profession, no grosso strategy says go the extra mile. Follow the set up standard. But beyond standard requirement, do the much needed evaluation and follow up to be sure that your student grows, they grow with what they know. And they are able to turn those knowledge to applicative learning. And there are learning outcomes that can be seen, demonstrated, turning education into transformation. No grosso strategy turns education to a tool for transformation where it is observed. Everybody knows what to do. They gross it out with their potential, and at the end of it, there's a transformation in the land. That is what it is. So on this note, we'd like to thank everybody who participated in this 3 days equipping on the behavioral health fundamental. And we are grateful. We have achieved this success feat, at least to enlighten and to show some of these nitty-gritties that are very vital and pivotal in the workplace as professionals and as individuals. So no matter what you do, even in the NIPR sector, we need the no grosso strategy because image is critical. Reputation is critical. So you need the no grosso strategy to do all of this. So Dr. Sambe, closing remarks. We can't hear you. You are muted.
Hello.
Okay, sir. Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. On behalf of SABA, Dr. Komolafe himself, his resources, and the families and by extension participants at this 3-day program. We are indeed greatly indebted to you, and may God replenish you and strengthen you. And by way of extension, all of us around you, may we have causes to be grateful to God, and may the knowledge that we have benefited be useful to us and useful to all our appendages and extension. And I should basically be grateful to all our previous participants, and I think I am seeing Professor Shotonode appearing now, if my eye is not deceiving me. So everybody, we are grateful to you, and please let us spread the news that health is beyond physical health, and health checks should go beyond physical checks. We should endeavor to check neck up, neck down, and short leg forward by positive behaviors. We want to thank you, and maybe through Dr. Komolafe, allow me to request Dr. Mba to give a word as a take home for us.
Yes, Dr. Mba, over to you, sir. Dr. Mba, what's your word for a take-home as a medical doctor? Oh, the system has thrown him out due to network. So we are going to package this work together and see what program we can run with our professor in Lagos in her school.
Sorry, Mrs. Ajasa. Mrs.
Yes.
Ajasa, give us vote of thanks.
Okay.
And a comment.
Good evening, everybody. On behalf of the house, I say a very big thank you to our host, Dr. James Komolafe, the co-host, Dr. Mustafa Sombe, and the rest of us. We are rest assured that this program will do us a lot of good. We are glad to be participants. So thank you very much. God bless us all.
Thank you so very much. We'll send the replay to everyone. Please send it far and wide. Thank you, Dr. Mustafa Sambe. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, bye-bye. Enjoy your evening. Thank God it's Friday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.